such a fantastic story, and it's so beautifully filmed and well cast, I may say. I think I'd like to start with Aml. Oh, I screwed the name up, right?
You did it. You did it. Don't worry. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh yeah, I'll start with you, Aml, because you're not only a lead actor in this, you're an executive producer, and you're from England.
Yes.
How did you get involved with this series?
Well, first, I'd like to say that background, that chair of yours looks fantastic. Where'd you get that?
Oh, thank you. It's
Very,
actually a throw over a couch.
Oh, wonderful. The question was, I'm an actor, an EP, and I'm from England. How did I get involved in the project?
Yes.
I got an email. I was in Hampstead, actually. Hampstead. Does anyone know Hampstead on this call? No one? I was in Hampstead in England, and I was editing my movie, and it literally popped up, and my agents told me about it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I read the script, and I was totally and utterly engaged, blown away. It was something that I was like, oh man, I love this period of time. I love the 1920s to the 1940s. I loved the kind of, the wild west nature of it. And I love, there's a film called Stormy Weather that was from like the 1940s with the Nicholas brothers. And it just reminded me of this time. I'm like, how many times am I going to get to play in this world? And then the junior character was immediately engaging to me and the journey he would go on. And so I spoke with the producers and the creators and the directors all on one Zoom like this, and they're all very, very, very nice. At first, I'm joking. They were all very nice, and then they were just told me about their vision, and then we had a second meeting about it and had a conversation at length, and then they offered me the role, and I accepted, and that's how the journey kind of began, and I was very excited about it and what it could be, and that's how I got involved.
Ronnie, your character, Zeke, he's just so good, so intelligent, and it's heartbreaking to watch him struggle to be heard. How did you approach playing him, and what similarities do you feel you share with him?
One of the
go ahead, Aml.
Go ahead.
Come on. Aml usually answers for me, so
Bro, shut up, man. Carry on. Sorry, we're like this. We're all friends. Go on.
Stop lying. Can you repeat the question, please? Come on, man. Take me out of this, man. Take me out of it.
How did you approach playing him, and what similarities do you feel you share with him?
How did I approach playing Zeke? Well, what I did was I actually watched a lot of, or listened to a lot of tape or footage of old porters. And just to get a sense of the people that they were, and was it difficult or sorry?
No, what similarities do you feel you share with him?
I think we're both open people. I think with regards to, he's a pretty emotional guy, and he's not afraid to show that at times. And I think that's where Zeke and I are very similar. So I really grasped at the opportunity to be as open as possible, to show the truth of the pain, and hopefully it played through the camera.
Loren, you're from California. What was your experience like filming in Winnipeg?
Winnipeg was very different from California. It was a lot more, it felt a lot more small town. I wouldn't say that LA, or like I grew up in San Diego, I wouldn't say that it's like just super city, because I've worked in New York, that's a city, but it was just a completely different vibe being in Winnipeg. For one, Winnipeg is very flat, and especially like when I was working there the first time, within the first early months, it was closed. So I remember being quarantined, and then I would look out and see this like river, and I was like, oh, I want to like walk on the river. And then I walked out finally when quarantine was over, and there was nobody out there, and it was like still so isolated. And I was like, wow, I'm still in quarantine. Like there was no difference from being inside and being outside. But once it opened up more, and also as my castmates and myself, as we got closer, Winnipeg really started feeling like home.
And tell me about your character, Lucy, because she's really interesting. It seems like she just wants to get ahead at any cost. What is your take on her?
No, I think that she wants to get ahead at any cost as well. I was just saying, my motto from my university was find a way or make one. And that's definitely Lucy. She will find a way or she will make one. Everything about her whole foundation is to make it, is to, get out of this life and is to be a star. And she's so hungry. And I relate to that as well, because I want this as well. I go to auditions, I grind, I do all of that. And I appreciate that she actually does the work too. She'll work. She's not lazy by any means. I just think that, she could find better ways, in my opinion, to get to the top, but I still love her.
Now, Mouna, your character has so much heart and bravery. What did you like best about playing her? And what do you feel you have in common with her?
I think what I liked best about playing her was exploring her more nurturing side, especially her relationship with her son, Teddy. I think I found that really, really gratifying. I don't have any kids and I don't plan on having any soon, but I really love children. And I think I really connect with kids. So that was a really beautiful experience. And the second part of your question?
What do you feel you have in common with her?
I think the thing I have the most in common with her is the way in which I take on a lot of other people's burdens, and I feel responsible for people around me and my community. I think that Marlene is definitely a character that feels like she has to make a difference for the Black people in her community. She really wants to make sure that they have adequate healthcare and they get what they deserve. And she knows that she can't depend on anybody else to do that. I mean, when I say anybody else, I mean white society.
The costumes in this are gorgeous. And Olunike, you had especially beautiful dresses to wear. What did you like best about the 1920s apparel?
The entire budget went on
The entire budget went on my wardrobe. I love the intricate details of that time. The tailoring was absolutely top class. Like, it was so beautiful. And I mean, once the garment went on the body, that was it. You were the character. I was Queenie, because I felt that as I do in my real life, I feel like I deserve the finest things in life, and so yeah, that pulled that out of me, of just looking at the details of someone made this, and who likely made it was possibly Black. Because of all the tailors at those times too, right? All the seamstress. So I thought a lot about that. Queenie most likely went and got a Black seamstress or a Black tailor to make all her fine outfits, because that's who she was. She was about the community and about uplifting it and about putting money back into the community, but she wanted to make sure that it was just if not better than what white society wears.
That's an interesting.
That's how she garnered respect too, just by looking at her.
Yeah, that makes sense totally. Were the costumes comfortable for all of you to wear?
No,
Not
always. Not at all. My feet hurt. I was just doing ADR, and I saw a scene where I was, and we can all look for this. We can all laugh at me together. Where I was walking across the street, and literally I'm walking like a baby deer, like just fresh out the womb, baby deer, like type of legs. My foot is leaning to the side. It's obvious. It's not hideable. I'm sure there were no other takes that were better. And my shoes ripped, actually. Like, don't put me in 100-year-old clothes, because I'm definitely not that girl. And I ripped those shoes. I ripped every outfit that I wore. And I'm so embarrassed. But there was always the costume lady started coming to my room to help me get dressed and then help me out of the clothes, so that I wouldn't rip it. And then at the end of the day, we would assess the damage, because we knew that there was some from me walking. I wasn't doing cartwheels. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was just living my life, and I was ripping everything. I know I'm pretty active, I have a lot of energy, but no, I wouldn't say that the clothes were comfortable for me. But I did like them, thought they looked great. And I'm sorry to our,
They're very delicate.
They're so delicate.
Very delicate. Like these are 100 years old, right?
I started taking pictures of how dramatic these rips were, because they didn't rip like our clothes do now. Like, it was like, or the
Shredded.
Like
it was
paper.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I learned a new historical fact from watching this show, actually probably quite a few historical facts, but I didn't realize that they used ice to cool trains, like as if it was like air conditioning. I guess they didn't have air conditioning in trains back then. What's the one most interesting historical fact that any of you learned from doing this show?
Good one.
This is such a good question.
Great question.
Damn, what the hell was
That
it?
well, like that the porters were like they were the top class in the Black community. Like that was seen as something honorable to do, you know, because you have, you know, the uniform, the prestige that went with that for the Black community. I didn't know that because all we're thinking about is porters are just servicemen. Yes, but they were top form.
They were really dressed spiffy, like those outfits. It looked like you guys spent time shining, shining up your buttons and your shoes and everything. You guys looked amazing.
Our porters were so handsome when they were all dolled up. I love that scene of them walking. They all look so nice.
I loved buttoning it up all the time. I loved it.
And finally, what's your fondest memory of filming in Winnipeg?
Oh wow, that's
Spending
good.
time with the cast for me.
Yeah.
I would say my birthday. On my birthday, we all went out to I don't go to like clubs like that. And we all went out to some club that I'm sure Mouna found or the hairdresser found, you know. And I feel like we just had an absolute blast. Anytime when we were all together, like bonding, it was the best time of the entire summer.
Was I there?
Yes, you came.
Yeah, you came at the end. At the very end.
You came at the end. You had on a hat. You had on the granddaddy hat.
Oh yeah, granddaddy.
Yeah, granddaddy.
For me, it was probably shooting the one of the first opening dance sequence. I just loved it. There's moments in film that I've had throughout my career where you just have a moment where you just forget the cameras are rolling and you just keep on going. And there was a moment where I was on the trumpet and everyone was dancing, and then we just said, "Fuck the freaking cameras," and we just kept going and dancing and partying, and it was. And actually, they've used
live band.
Yeah, the live band. It was like boom, 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 boom. It was amazing. That I love those moments because they transport you away. You're really having that kind of esoteric experience in those moments. You know what I mean? You're just like you're transported to a different time, and you're like, wow, this is how they could have possibly felt. And that's what I do it for, this whole thing that we do.
The time where we all watched saw the pics too, with Arnold's pics.
Yeah.
That was a very big moment because it looked, yes, we were all together, but we looked at those pics and you couldn't really tell if that was current or if it was 1920s. So we were able to see what it was really like through pictures in that time as if we were teleported there. It was beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for talking to me today. It's been such a pleasure.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed yet, just click that photo to my left. Also, tap the notification button to make sure you don't miss out on any new celebrity interviews. Make sure to tell me in the comments who your favorite celebs are and who you'd like to see me interview next. No promises, but I'll do my best.